Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back at the starting grid for the second sprint, for the GT sprint of the ESET Cup Series. You are joining us on the starting grid here in Hungaroring, and it is the second round of the 2023 championship. So before we get going, let's see who's who and what's what. Actually, it's a very similar picture. We've got Filip Salakvarda on pole position again with the brand new Audi R8 Evo 2, and Filip Salakvarda sitting on pole position. So, Filip, we keep talking to you on pole position. So, is it business as usual, or any new plans for your Sunday drive?
Yeah, we'll see, because yesterday we saw the mirror was very fast in the car, was making good lap times. So, if there is everything okay and we are together, so it can be some interesting battle with the LMP car, with Miro. And today Libor did also very good lap time in qualifying, getting closer, so maybe we can see some nice battles.
But you seem to be absolutely comfortable here with your Audi around this track, so I bet that it's driving really nicely.
Yeah, the car is working very well. We didn't change much during the weekend. I'm just a little bit improving my driving, and yeah, we'll see, should be good.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Filip Salakvarda, your pole sitter. Alongside him, we have got Miro Konopka in the LMP3 Ligier ARC Bratislava team. And Miro, hi Miro, you actually had a small bump yesterday in the race with the Trevor Racing's BMW. So before this race, is everything okay? Is the car fine? How are you prepared for this race?
Yes, I hope all is okay. We repair car, and in quali was all okay. We will see in the race, but I hope, yes, car is okay.
Okay, thank you very much. That is Miro Konopka joining Filip Salakvarda on the front row. Libor Milota, third on the grid and second in the GT3 class. But we have a chance to quickly have a word with the GTC leader now. Yep.
Go ahead.
So Joachim, hi. Yesterday you were actually looking at the rear wing of Denis Vašek, but today you are on pole in the GTC class. Any special plans from your side for your Sunday drive?
I mean, the only plan for me is to keep it that way. So I hope I will have a good start. So far, every start I've had was pretty fast. I managed to even get up with the GT3s. We'll see, you know, we have an LMP3 now here, which we didn't have before. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, that's Joachim Galash, your pole sitter for the GTC class. And as we leave the grid, we have the usuals in the GTC class. You've got Denis Vašek and Matěj Pavlíček joining together on the third row of the grid overall, but coming second and third in their respective qualifying. And before we get going here for this race, let's just have a small and quick recap of what we saw yesterday. So the cars are ready on the starting grid, ready to rumble and roar once more here in Hungary for the remaining GT sprint of the weekend. and the rest of the ensemble is now leaving the grid to leave only the men and machines on the tarmac. We have got Filip Salaquarda on pole position for the second sprint as well. Alongside him, Miro Konopka. So another lockout from these two. Libor Milota in third and second among the GT3 class. Alongside him, Joachim Galasch, the pole position scorer for the GTC category. Behind him, his teammate Matěj Pavlíček and their biggest rival in the colors of GT2 Motorsport, Denis Vašek. In seventh, Piotr Vida in his GT3 AMG Mercedes, prepared by Polish Goodspeed Racing Team. Alongside him, it is Alexander Ober in P8 overall. Ninth place belongs to Franz Lamer, now on the starting grid. And P10 to Petr Brecka in the GT Sports Technology Porsche 911. 11th place for Petr Kačírek, who is now taken over from Daniel Skalický in the Duck Racing's Audi R8. 12th place, Pavel Sovička in the GTX KTM, prepared by the RTR Projects Racing Team. Bob Bau in 13th, from 14th place Ivan Vlachkov. Zeno Kováč in 15th, 16th place to Tomáš Konvička, and then Franjo Dubreta, Nemanja Milovanovic, Antal Žigo and Richard Vosic on the starting grid. The cars have already set off for the formation lap around Hungaroring, 4,381 meters. So not the longest of tracks, which means that we should be able to amass a good number of laps in today's race. We've already seen quite a lot of frantic action all through the weekend. We also saw the clash in yesterday's endurance race between Miro Konopka and Gregor Žigo in the BMW M4 GT3, which as a result is then not taking place in today's sprint race. We saw Gregor retiring right after the contact. There was another one that we didn't really spot on the camera, but there was the initial contact that sent Miro Konopka spinning, but as he finished rotating, Gregor Žigo was trying to drive around him, but they then had a secondary contact, which was probably even worse than the first one, and that went really wheel on wheel and bent and cracked a couple of things in the Beamer. So maybe from the outside you wouldn't even be you wouldn't even be able to spot the difference, but there were key components broken mechanically, and that of course meant that the car, it is not beyond repair, but it would be better to repair them in calm circumstances at home. So the team will get the car ready for the next round in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. And the cars in the meantime are getting ready to get going here in Hungary for the last time out. So the remaining positions, actually, we've got still quite a lot of cars on the grid. Behind 20th Richard Vosic, we still have Grega Šimunovic, Kalman Bodiš, Christian Wimberger, Hans-Peter Edre and Matej Kosic. The cars are now getting ready for the final sprint race of the weekend. They are now re-entering the start and finish straight. Filip Salaquarda on your left in the white Audi R8. And away we go. Filip Salaquarda takes the lead of the race immediately right after the start. And he has got a clear view into the first corner. That is all you need to have. Behind there is the fight. Libor Milota trying to have a look down the inside on Konopka. Everybody is driving carefully through. Matěj Pavlíček holding on to his second place in the GTC class. Denis Vašek settling for third right now, but he is on the move for the second corner. The left-hander, he's down the inside on Pavlíček. They are running side by side now. But the next corner is now on the hand of Matěj Pavlíček, so the Michanek Motorsport Lamborghinis remain up front. Miro Konopka is holding up Libor Milota. Libor would really like to be now climbing up the order because he sees Filip Salaquarda disappearing into the distance. That's not what he wants to be seeing. Denis Vašek did not manage to find his way through Michanek Motorsport Juniors, and they are now running in close formation behind one another. Joachim Galaš still leading the GTC class from Matěj Pavlíček and Denis Vašek behind them. Piotr Vera in the GT3 Merc, and then Alexander Ober, Franz Lamer and Petr Brecka. That is your top 10 for the moment. And we are now getting to the final sector of the opening lap of the race. Galaš with Pavlíček, having his teammate all over his rearview mirrors right now. So they have both defended from Denis Vašek, but the question is contact even, because Joachim Galaš suddenly slowed down halfway through the corner. What happened there? And Matěj Pavlíček had to take evasive action, had to react really quickly, and now he is shadowing his teammate, slipstreaming down the pit straight. Matěj Pavlíček attacking around the outside, side by side they are now going. Matěj Pavlíček will not have enough space, and that is opening the door for Denis Vašek, who's now slipping into second of the class, and he is now trying to have a look down the inside into the second corner. Galaš still somehow managing to stay ahead and leading the GTC category, but that was a dramatic moment when we were making our way through the final corner of the opening lap of the race. Joachim Galaš took a little bit longer before he felt the confidence in his car to go full throttle, and Matěj Pavlíček was actually sooner on the gas. Very, very nearly touched. Well, maybe they did even touch. I really can't really tell. But that was just so close. You wouldn't be able to stick a sheet of paper between them, probably. Piotr Vera trying to stay calm. Behind the trio of Lamborghinis, Matěj Pavlíček having a look. And there we go, Joachim Galaš using a bit of the AstroTurf, which is not really providing that much grip. This is shaping up to be an interesting battle for the GTC lead. Here we are a little further down the field. Up front you've got Petr Brecka in his Porsche. And it would appear to me that he has moved up the order actually. He's now disappeared from the Laptiming screen because there must be a small transponder issue. But he is definitely there. Even the Laptiming shows Petr Brecka down in 25th, which isn't true. We see him there in the fight. But then you've got Alexander Ober, Franz Lamer and Petr Kačírek following in close succession. But let's cut back to the fight for the GTC lead. Galaš, Vašek, Pavlíček. That is a triple Czech fight. Of the three Lamborghinis. they are. Still the order unchanged. If we check last year's standings, it was actually Denis Vashek who took the title in the GTC class. This year he's definitely not going to have it easy with Mechanik juniors. They have been trained pretty thoroughly, the little donuts. There is Pavel Sovichka having a fight of his own. Sorry, that's Tomáš Konvička in his GTX KTM, fighting it out with Boris Kalman and Antal Žigo. In the meantime, Filip Salakvarda has opened up a 3.5-second lead in the first place. Gero Konopka in second, Libor Milota in third, Joachim Galaš still leading the GTC class, but Matěj Pavlíček all over the back end of the car of Denis Vashek. There they are, still running closely together. So now the order has settled a little bit, but it's still far from being done. And yeah, everybody is going to have to watch the tire deck all through the race, because I have heard drivers all through the weekend discussing the tire management, and usually the first half and the second half of the race, how it progresses. It is already quite warm, around 19-20 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit overcast now, so the weather is nice, but yeah, it's not direct sunburn, let's say. This is an interesting fight. We have got the Porsche, have got the BMW, have got the Cupra. That is Boris Kalman, that is Antal Žigo, that is Daniel Lemmerhofer. Those are the cars you do not normally see fight together. And there's also Grega Šimunović in the previous generation Cupra. And now look at that. Šimunović had to cut the chicane a little bit, because he had problems under braking and he was just trying to not collect the BMW. Galaš still holding a little advantage over the other two Lamborghinis, so he's enjoying around about a second gap to his nearest rivals. Denis Vashek is trying to stay in touch with his countryman. Matěj Pavlíček would definitely like to go through. He is still paying the price for the unfortunate moment and a bit of a misunderstanding with his teammate earlier on, when they nearly clashed together, the two Mechanik Motorsport juniors. They are still running well now in first and third in their class respectively. Joachim Galaš scored the victory yesterday. And this is one of our rarer occasions to actually check an onboard. That is the car of Denis Vašek, providing the view from the driver's office, and you may now see how fast it actually is around Hungaroring in the GTC Lamborghini Huracan. We are now quickly approaching the halfway mark of the race. With Salaquarda holding a comfortable lead over Miro Konopka. I did already mention the contact between Konopka and Gregor Žigo in yesterday's endurance race on the opening lap. And that gave Miro an incentive. He had to spend an entire hour-long race fighting back through the field. So at one point he was stone dead last, but still finished second on the road overall, so at least enjoyed himself on Saturday afternoon. A little unnecessary drama for him, and some extra costs definitely, but eventful race for the experienced Slovakian. And all of the GTC leaders are still lapping at about, well, very similar pace, 1:47.8 for Galaš on the previous round. But personal bests for Vašek and Pavlíček, they did 1:47.7 and 1:47.6 respectively. So this trio is actually bunching up together yet again. It's 3/4 of a second between Galaš and Vašek, and about 4/10 of a second between Vašek and Pavlíček. A big step up for both of the juniors, because previously Matěj Pavlíček drove the GT4 Crosspoke KTM, and Joachim Galaš is coming from the world of touring cars, so front-wheel drive cars with well, I would say around 200 fewer horsepower, give or take. And the two Cup Porsches fighting together in front of the BMW. That is then Boris Kalman and Richard Vošic having a fight of their own, but they are both different categories. Also, the BMW is a different class. That's a GT4, while the Porsches are GTX and GTC respectively. Look at that now, lapping the back markers might be a chance to pounce for Denis Vašek. Ooh, I was very close for Matěj Pavlíček, who had to go really wide on the exit of that corner, actually halfway through the corner, and he then completely missed the track limits for once, and also the curb, and he had to go on the AstroTurf there to avoid the Seat. Denis made a tiny little error in turn number 4, which then handed Galash his gap back. But for a couple of corners they were running really closely together. There is the GT4 BMW driven by Zeno Kovac, Trevor Racing's squad. And the only car of the team in this race. I already mentioned that the GT3 spec car is not entered in the second sprint, or has been withdrawn from it because of the damage sustained in yesterday's endurance race. So nothing overly dramatic, but a little too complicated to be fixed here on the site, on site. So the team will get the car ready for the next round in Austria. We're coming to Austria on the 20th and 21st of May. And after that, we're going to be racing in Most in the beginning of August, and towards the end of August, let's say second half of August, we're going to Slovakia, and in the beginning of September to Brno. Filip Salakvarda, meanwhile, is lapping some back markers on his own. That was the Cupra Leon. I believe that was Daniel Leverhofer. And there is a slow KTM. Is that Václav Janík? It may have been. He was obviously letting. Ooh, and there's an issue somewhere. Is there? We see some dust in the air. And yellow flag momentarily waved. And then also track marshal leaving his post to check something. So not really sure what happened there, but maybe just a tiny excursion. Run through the gravel trap. Yeah, that. Ooh, and it's actually one of the Cupras, one of the TCR cars that left the track there. So there is one of the cars remaining stationary. It might actually be Franjo Dubreta who's now dropping down the order according to the live timing screen. So there is an issue. There you see it. You see in the background the Cupra retiring from the race. That is Franjo Dubreta. So from the replay, didn't seem like a driver's error or a mistake, but a simple retirement of the car for some sort of technical issues. And there is the race leader, Filip Salakvarda, enjoying a very calm race in the lead. From Miro Konopka and Libor Milota in second and third. Joachim Galash still leading the GTC class. He's already opened a 1.6 second lead over Denis Vašek. Matěj Pavlíček third, less than a second behind Vašek. Piotr Vera in 7th overall. Behind him, Alexander Ober, Petr Brecka, Franz Lamer. And beyond the top 10, you have got Petr Kačírek, Pavel Sovička, Ivan Vlachkov, Bob Bau, Zeno Kovac, and further and further drivers. Still 24 of them staying in this race. 24 out of 25. The retirement of Franjo Dubreta was the first casualty of the race. We also have quite a lot of cars that did not start the race despite they were entered into it. So we're missing Matej Kosic, Neil Verhagen, Kurt Wagner, Zoran Kastratovic and Nikola Radnič. There is the GTC lead fight. Still Matěj Pavlíček putting pressure on Denis Vašek. That was the GT4 M4 making way, but look at this. Denis Vašek is really under massive pressure from Pavlíček. So Pavlíček is now trying to recollect all the strength he's got in his tyres. He's trying to have a look somewhere. Oh, they are so close to one another. Matej Pavlíček so much later on the brakes. There is another back marker, one of the Porsches. Joachim Galaš to try and find his way past now Vašek and Pavlíček. This is not going to be easy. Now they are through. But they are going to remain very close to one another. Is Matej going to try something? Yes, he did. But that door was shut abruptly. So he had to stay away from the fight then. And now they are making their way around the final two corners and onto the start and finish straight. Will they go? Matej Pavlíček taking a wider line through there just to have the straightest possible exit onto the start and finish straight, and he is now slipstreaming behind Denis Vašek. Matej Pavlíček on the mission, on the move, he's diving down the inside. What a maneuver! Matej Pavlíček is through on Denis Vašek. Vašek tried it back, but Matej Pavlíček shut the door immediately. That was textbook stuff from Matej Pavlíček. He prepared the move around the outside of the final corner to make his exit as straight as possible, to be able to go on the throttle as soon as possible, to gain the straight line speed advantage, which he did, and then he used the slipstream behind the other Lamborghini and got a proper tow down the pit straight, and then made a last-minute dive under braking. Whoa! That is a near miss with one of the back markers, as one of the Porsches really getting in the way, and it seemed as though it was actually letting the GTC cars go, but maybe the driver just spotted the first of the Lambos. So Galaš was through, but Matej Pavlíček had to swerve a little bit, and then Vašek had to completely cut the chicane to miss the Porsche. But look at this. You get a taste of it, and immediately you just want more. Matej and Joachim, they both shared one victory apiece in Germany. So then Joachim was victorious yesterday, and Matej doesn't really want to leave it as it is. He's now practiced on Denis Vašek, how to slipstream past another Lamborghini, how to make a move, and he did make that stick, but now he's got one lap to go. I presume should be, was 40 seconds gap to the race leader, so we might still be actually in for 2 more laps. We'll see about that, but either way, whoa, Joachim kicking a lot of dust right into the face of his teammate. But Matej Pavlíček completely unfazed by that, and they are now really enjoying themselves here in Hungary. Galaš again taking a deliberately wider exit just to kick up some dust. And look at this now, small error from Galaš. Serves him on a silver plate to Matej Pavlíček. There is Filip Salakvarda. He is able to start another lap. Okay, so let's go back to the fight of the 2 Lamborghinis, because that is shaping up to be a pretty dramatic showdown for the GTC victory. Look at that, and now they are actually going all 3 into the fight. There they are. Galaš, Pavlíček and Denis Vašek trying to get back into the fight as well. What a stunning, stunning finale to the GTC fight. Now the Mechanic Motorsport guys running side by side, and up the hill we go, on to the last one. So the final right-hander now, and 1 more lap to go. Who is going to come out victorious out of this one? This is going to be properly interesting. So it is Galash leading the GTC fight still. Matěj Pavlíček making a move, but maybe just covering off Denis Vašek, who was having a look of his own. Galash still slower mid-corner, and that again created that sort of pincer movement between the two, and Pavlíček was going to go on power, but he was stopped in that. Okay, Filip Salaquarda finishing his race, but what is happening in that fight for the GTC lead? Still some seconds to go. Galash leading from Pavlíček and Vašek. Galash again coming wide out of the corner before the chicane to just make it all dirty for the drivers behind. Ooh, and Vašek makes a mistake. Vašek makes a mistake in the chicane, but here it is Filip Salaquarda victorious yet again in Hungary, and he is now summarizing a dominant weekend here in Hungary. But let's cut back right back to the fight between the Lambos. There they are. Okay, Denis Vašek is probably out of this one. He made a mistake exiting the chicane, so now it is only between the Michanek Motorsport Juniors. There they are. Joachim Galash leading from Matěj Pavlíček. He's just trying to make the best possible exit. What are they going to do? Matěj Pavlíček knows that Galash was slower halfway through the corner. He's now trying to make a better exit. They are now going to be side by side across the line, but Galash is prevailing. Joachim Galash scores another victory in the GTC class. What a fight that was. And I believe that both of the drivers are smiling under their helmets. What a fight they enjoyed. And we did so together with them. This is the overall race leader, Filip Salaquarda, in his GT3 Audi R8, prepared by ISR Racing. Miro Konopka a little alone in second and sort of away from the shots of cameras, but they really had a lot to be concerned about in this race. What a fight that was for the GTC Glory, which goes for the third time in 2023 to Joachim Galash, and for the fourth time to Michanek Motorsport. Denis Vašek was trying to stay together with them, and he was trying to go opportunistic, then made the decisive mistake in the chicane on the final lap and was unable to stay together with the other two Lambos, and they had a beautiful fight all the way to the finish line. Matěj Pavlíček was trying to be smart. He really opened the entry into the last two corners just to really straighten his exit as much as possible, to be able to go on throttle as soon as possible. But in the end, Joachim simply positioned his car very well for the remaining final exit out of the last corner, and never really let Matěj Pavlíček even alongside, so they still stayed extremely close to one another, but behind each other. And there were 11/100ths of a second separating the Michanek Motorsport Juniors across the line. We have got Libor Milota finishing third and actually second in the GT3 class. And then the GTC trio, Joachim Galash, Matěj Pavlíček, Denis Vašek, Piotr Vera third in the GT3 class, 7th overall. Alexander Ober scoring a GTX victory in 8th overall. And then Franz Lamer and Petr Kačírek in 9th and 10th. Behind them, Petr Brecka, Pavel Sovička, Ivan Vlachkov, Zeno Kováč, Bob Bau, Tomáš Konvička, Daniel Lemmerhofer, Richard Vošic, Nemanja Milovanovič, Kalman Bodiš, Antal Žigo, Grega Šimunovič, Christian Wimberger and Hans-Peter Eder. The only retirement coming from Franjo Dubreta. That was a wonderful, wonderful race, and we also have Piotr Vera stopped on the track before the second corner. There is an issue on his Mercedes. There is the blue and white Mercedes stationary on the car, waiting for one of the rescue vehicles to bring him back to pits.
So he did finish the race, but right after that he decided to retire the car immediately, and he is going to have to be helped back into the pit lane. There it is. Now the Mercedes hidden away from the camera shot by the rescue vehicle, but that is Piotr Vera of Good Speed Racing. So Filip Salakvarda taking another victory, and let's just see the highlights of this race. Filip Salakvarda scoring 3rd out of 4 in terms of victories. So that was the second GT sprint of the second event in the 2023 ESET Cup Series. Filip Salakvarda is your overall winner from Miro Konopka and Libor Milota. And then the wonderful, wonderful fight for the GTC victory among Joachim Galaš, Matěj Pavlíček and Denis Vašek. We will be back very soon with the second race of the ACCR Formula 4. So make sure that you are back with us for that one.